One, I will drive home the point that I think you were making, Struddy. Generational players get cups, and Edmonton is where you would start with this. McDavid is going to win one. I cannot live in a world, I cannot believe he's going to go through his career without winning. I think that would be a travesty. I know it doesn't matter how I feel. It's not an emotional thing. But McDavid, Draisaitl, I think Matthews, you can make an argument, is on pace to be the greatest goal scorer ever, or he's going to be in that conversation, on pace to be the greatest American ever, or you can make that case. Guys of that ilk, Hellebuck doing what he's doing as like the clear-cut, best goalie in the league the last couple of years. Quinn Hughes, the way that he's growing as a defenseman.
Right.
You have this uber talent in the country. You pointed at that, Struddy. And these guys, eventually they break. And I don't know which one. On my pecking order, I would go Edmonton number 1. I think I'd probably go Toronto 2, Winnipeg 3, Vancouver 4 as of today. Could change by April. But when you have guys like McDavid, like Draisaitl, like Matthews, those guys they win. They find a way to win. They get their cups. And Canadian teams have them right now. And they're in their primes. I think that's the important thing to point out. They should be hungrier than other superstars who have already won because they haven't. They're all in their primes. This is when it's going to pop. Like, you're in a window here, and I'm going to put money on it that one of them can do it in 24, 25.
Yeah, and just, to sum it up, what I see is that I think this year is the jump ball. The year that Colorado won it, they were so good.
So good.
They were just at Vegas. It felt like they were going to win it. They were the ones they're going to get. And just go back. It's always like they're just going for it. And this year it feels like a jump ball amongst 5, 6, 7, 8 teams.
Yeah.
It's instead of it's like this team against everybody. I think it's, I don't know how high we want to take it, but let's just call it 5, 6.
Yep.
And so it's a jump ball. So first, do they make any additions that have a big impression, moving forward? Injury, luck, although I don't love luck because but I know a lot.
It factors in though, Strud. Like, you need things to break your way.
But you can't. Yeah,
can't rely on it. But
I guess part of it is luck is not getting injured, right? So those are the things. So I think I would phrase it as a jump ball this year compared to, I agree. Florida looked really good last year, although so did Edmonton. But Florida had been through it once
you're
already.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like when Pittsburgh won their cups, you could feel it. When Chicago was in that window, you're like, this team, I don't know how anyone's going to beat them. L.A. after the first one. The first L.A. one was shocking because of them kind of backdooring into the playoffs, and then they never lost. I think they lost a game to Vancouver in the first round and basically didn't again until the Cup final. But, yeah, that's a jump ball, I think, is a great way to describe it.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. Throw it up, and I think if you're a Canadian fan – ideally, you'd have that powerhouse, and maybe one of them will feel that way by the end of the year. Winnipeg did the first month. First month of the year was like, wow, Winnipeg's the best team in the league. By the end of last year, you could have made the argument, Edmonton, the best team in the league. We'll see, and this is always subject to change as the year goes on, but trying to be optimistic here on a Thursday.
That's where I was going to go, Brian. So we are, let's say, 30 games in. Most teams are at 28 in that range or whatever. Can we do this list, or can we revisit this list 45 games into the season?
Yes.
Not 41, just past, maybe 50 games. 50 games into the season, and see what it looks like, and see if teams have made trades, see if guys have pushed through inconsistency, just see what the league looks like. See if we are talking about 5 teams or really 4 or, like that type of stuff. But as of right now, I agree 100%. It is a jump ball. Because nobody's running away with it. I think there's more than 5 or 6 teams. I think there might be 8, but that depends. That the Rangers get their act together.
Yep.
Do they make a big move? Stuff like that. So I'd like to see 50 games and revisit this list.
I love it.
Promise me that.
I will do that. Right. Doogie, lock it in. Doogie and JP.
Whichever one you are. Struddy's calling you both the same name.
Struddy's confusing the two.
Well, I thought that's what I have his name as my thing. Isn't it? That's his name?
No, Doogie is Josh. Doogie, come on the mic.
It doesn't make sense.
Has Struddy called you JP?
I believe we've talked over the mic, and Struddy said JP.
Yeah.
And I believe you thought it was me, but there's 2 JPs here. My last name starts with a P. Our technical producer is also JP.
That's a good point.
Many people have talked about that. It's not the first time, Struddy.
Actually, that's the first I hear of it. Now that I think about it, I've been on the show for years, but I forgot that Doogie's last name
Josh
Starts with a P.
Pulis. Yeah, JP and JP, and then we got Joe from the Bridge.
It's
We
very
got it all covered. JB, we got it all covered.
Yeah.
All right, Strud.
Only hearing half the show, he screwed me over. Like,
I know they're sandbagging you bad, man. They're really trying to take you out at the
Sorry,
knees.
Struddy. We're sorry.
I don't know who likes the cologne. Which of the Joshes likes the cologne? That's what I'm confused about.
Oh, that's Doogie. Yeah,
Doogie told me
Lays it
that
on
he
thick.
and his buddies literally talk about cologne,
Oh, boy.
which to me was a shocking revelation. But he said, yeah, cologne talk's a big. I don't even think Doogie's a millennial. Doogie's like a Gen. What are you,
What's
Doogie?
What's the next one after?
not a
like
millennial,
Gen
that's for
Z,
sure.
or is he Gen Z or?
Do you
what is
know,
that?
Doogie? Are you looking it up? That's how
I'm a
young
Gen
he is.
Z.
You're a
I
Gen
searched
Z.
it up.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I'm a
he's
Gen Z.
You're a Gen Z guy.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
makes
Doogie.
sense.
Gen Z's big into colognes and sandbagging people on the air.
I just got some breaking news too from a buddy of ours that worked with the Rangers for many years, and he said no staff alumni jackets as well. So honestly, I think the Rangers have they're not doing people right there.
Disappointing.
They're one of the Aren't they one of the wealthiest teams in pro sport? Or like in
Dolan,
the NHL,
man. It's
for sure.
MSG. Dolan owns
I
like
know, Jim
they're under
Dolan.
the whole umbrella. Knicks, the Garden, the Rangers. The Rangers are generally valued as the most like expensive team in the league.
Yeah.
Or the most highly valued team in the league, more so than the Leafs, the Habs.
Wow.
I'll send an email to Mess. I'll email Mess. We'll get this straightened out. We'll all have
Actually-
jackets or
Please do.
nice
I think
cardigans
that
or something.
The line would stop at me though. Like I think
No,
I
you
played
get
4
one,
games
man.
with them.
You get one. You're
Why
in.
do
You
people
played a game.
Do people get an alumni coat if you played one game for the Leafs?
I believe
that's a
that is
question that we
accurate.
have to ask.
You'd have to ask for one, I would think.
If you played for the Marlies, you get one. Like, it's just like everybody.
Everyone gets one. Marlies.
Hand them out.
Struddy, I was telling Hayes and O the other day when I got to the Rangers, Mike Dunham was my goalie partner, and the team was really in a tough spot. Like they had cleared out. Like the number one pairing, I think, was Chris McAllister and Dale Purington. That was the number one pairing D.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Challenged offensively.
If we go out for a game. I think we're playing Pittsburgh, and Dunny's like, "Hey, listen to when I get announced. Like when they say starting in goal. He goes, the fans hate me here, so they go starting in goal, Mike Dunham, and the crowd just goes boo, like it was insane. And he looked over at me. He was laughing. I was like, oh my god, this place is an animal house here. It was so funny.
It's
Tough living in New York.
They're hard fans, man. When you're not playing well, like I remember being booed off the ice after the first period. Like, and you're like, it's 1-0, get booed off the ice. Like, we better pick it up. We might not make it out of here.
New York in a nutshell. We'll come back with our best bets brought to you by FanDuel. Wrap up a busy afternoon. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, today's best bets are powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Very unfortunate line movement for Hazenbro. Now up to Niners -3.
Saw that.
Of course, it moves in the direction of these two dummies, and they get the advantage of that. But we're still on the Rams, +3, better than ever. Rams +3, they cover the number tonight. Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown score, and Matthew Stafford over 246.5 total yards passing tonight. That parlay paying +311. And today's best bets, again, powered by FanDuel. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is the exclusive home of the Overdrive same-game parlay. Please play responsibly, 19+, physically located in Ontario. All right, boys. Well,
Good stuff.
good stuff. Everyone survived. Everyone got through the cold weather and technical difficulties, and JP and Doogie trying to sewer everyone else, and it's all good. It's all
Hoodie
good.
show. The
Yes.
hoodie show.
The
It
hoodie
worked
show.
out.
The hoodie show. I'm bringing this in more, man. I felt good today.
Comfortable.
Very comfortable. Very comfortable. All right. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes. Everyone behind the scenes. Reluctantly.
Do you really mean that?
Reluctantly. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes.
I don't mean that.
Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web. We appreciate it. We're out of here. Enjoy.
The Toronto Maple Leafs may be taking a new approach to salary management, which could directly impact Mitch Marner's contract negotiations. During Kyle Dubas' tenure as general manager, the team didn't hesitate to spend heavily, and this trend began with a 6-year extension signed by Marner in 2019. At the time, Marner's $10.9 million annual cap hit set the market for superstar wingers, surpassing comparable players like Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche, who signed a 6-year deal with a $9.25 million annual cap hit. Now, however, times seem to be changing. TSN's Pierre LeBrun recently reported that the Maple Leafs have implemented an internal salary cap, aiming to ensure no player earns more than captain Austin Matthews, who signed a 4-year extension worth $13.25 million per season in August 2023. The team's primary concern revolves around Marner's agent, Darren Ferris, who, according to LeBrun, might push for a percentage of the total salary cap instead of a fixed dollar amount. This could result in Marner's cap hit exceeding Matthews' $13.25 million, conflicting with the Leafs' new financial strategy. Ferris is known for driving negotiations to the limit, often taking his clients to free agency. This raises fears that discussions between Marner and the Leafs could drag on until July 1st, giving Marner and his camp all the leverage in negotiations. Another complicating factor is the rising market. LeBrun noted that Mikko Rantanen believes he could secure $14 million per season as a free agent. This sparks the question, could Marner demand even more? And would Ferris take that gamble, knowing the Leafs might opt to move on and sign another player? Marner has made it clear on multiple occasions that Toronto is where he wants to be. As a local player with deep ties to the city, he's expressed his desire to spend his entire career wearing the blue and white of the Leafs. However, staying with the team may require him to accept less than market value, especially if the front office remains committed to its new salary structure. Such a sacrifice could be vital for the team's collective success and to avoid financial issues that have plagued the recent past. While negotiations are still in the early stages, it's evident that Marner's future with the Leafs is at stake. Maple Leafs fans may need to prepare for the possibility of significant changes, but they can also trust in the player's commitment to the city and the franchise to find a compromise. The Maple Leafs' decision to implement an internal salary cap reflects a broader shift in their team-building philosophy. After years of prioritizing top-end talent with hefty contracts, the organization appears determined to strike a balance between superstar contracts and depth throughout the roster. This strategy aims to avoid the pitfalls of past seasons, where a lack of financial flexibility often left the team vulnerable in critical playoff moments. For Mitch Marner, this shift creates a unique challenge. On one hand, his value to the Leafs is undeniable. A consistent top scorer and elite playmaker, Marner has been instrumental in driving the team's offense. On the other hand, his ability to command a salary that rivals or exceeds Austin Matthews could put the Leafs in a difficult position, especially with a potential need to strengthen other areas of the roster. As the 2023-24 season progresses, the Leafs must weigh the potential consequences of sticking to their cap philosophy. Losing a homegrown talent like Marner would undoubtedly sting for fans and the organization alike. However, allowing one player to dictate financial terms beyond the team's structure could hinder long-term success and force painful sacrifices elsewhere. Adding to the complexity is the looming free agency of William Nylander. If the Leafs are to stick to their internal salary cap, they may also face challenges in retaining Nylander, who could command a significant raise. Balancing contracts for both Marner and Nylander within the new framework could prove to be the ultimate test for Toronto's management team. Another factor at play is the team's ultimate goal, winning the Stanley Cup. While star players like Marner and Matthews are crucial, history has shown that depth and balanced rosters often prevail in the postseason. If the Leafs fail to manage their finances effectively, they risk falling short of building a championship-caliber team, even with elite talent. For Marner, the decision to stay with the Leafs might come down to more than just dollars. His connection to the city, the fans, and his teammates could be deciding factors. If he prioritizes legacy and loyalty over maximizing earnings, there's a strong possibility that he'll work with the team to find a deal that benefits both parties. Negotiations will also test Darren Ferris, known for his hardline tactics in securing lucrative deals for his clients. While pushing for top dollar is expected, Ferris may need to weigh the risks of alienating the Leafs management and fanbase. A prolonged stalemate could damage Marner's relationship with the team and its supporters. The Leafs management, led by general manager Brad Treliving, faces a pivotal moment. Treliving's reputation as a negotiator and team builder will be on full display as he navigates this high-stakes scenario. Striking the right balance could solidify his tenure in Toronto, while a misstep might set the team back for years. For Maple Leafs fans, the coming months will be filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Marner's future, along with the team's ability to stay competitive under financial constraints, will likely dominate conversations as the season unfolds. Supporters can only hope that the team's new approach leads to greater playoff success and, ultimately, the elusive championship. In the end, the outcome of these negotiations could redefine the Maple Leafs' identity for years to come. Whether it results in retaining Marner or reshaping the roster, the team's commitment to an internal salary cap signals a clear focus on long-term sustainability. Fans will be watching closely, hoping for a resolution that keeps the team's core intact and their championship dreams alive. As the negotiations with Mitch Marner progress, another layer of complexity is added by the external competition in the NHL market. Teams with more cap space and fewer restrictions could easily present lucrative offers to Marner if he reaches free agency. The Leafs are not only negotiating with Marner but also indirectly competing with other franchises willing to outbid them for his services. One example of this is Mikko Rantanen, whose potential $14 million value on the open market highlights the growing demand for elite wingers. If Rantanen secures such a deal, it could set a precedent that Marner's camp would use as leverage. The Leafs, however, must remain disciplined, as breaking their internal salary cap for Marner could lead to similar demands from other key players down the line. The looming specter of free agency means the Leafs have a limited window to strike a deal. If negotiations drag on into the off-season, the leverage shifts heavily in favor of Marner and his agent. Darren Ferris, known for his strategic patience, could use this to push for maximum value, putting even greater pressure on the Leafs management to make a decision. This scenario also places significant pressure on head coach Sheldon Keefe. Managing a team amid ongoing contract uncertainty can disrupt chemistry and focus. Keefe will need to ensure that the team remains united and focused on their performance, even as the media and fans speculate about Marner's future. Meanwhile, the Leafs core group, including Austin Matthews, Morgan Rielly, and John Tavares, will likely play a role in influencing Marner's decision. The camaraderie among the players and their collective drive for a championship could persuade Marner to accept a deal that aligns with the team's financial structure. On the flip side, the Leafs could explore contingency plans if a deal with Marner doesn't materialize. Trading Marner would be a bold move, but it could bring significant assets in return, potentially bolstering the team in areas like defense or secondary scoring. This option, while unpopular with fans, might be necessary to maintain roster balance. The timing of these decisions is also critical. With the trade deadline months away, the Leafs must assess whether keeping Marner without an extension risks losing him for nothing in free agency. A preemptive trade could avoid this scenario, but it would also signal a significant shift in the team's short-term goals. Fan sentiment will undoubtedly influence the team's approach. Marner is not just an exceptional player, he's a fan favorite and a symbol of homegrown talent succeeding in Toronto. Losing him could lead to backlash, especially if the team struggles in the aftermath of his departure. The broader NHL landscape also plays a role. As other teams navigate their own salary cap challenges, the Leafs can learn from their successes and failures. Organizations like the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights have shown the value of balancing star power with depth, offering a potential blueprint for Toronto's future.